The final Bitcoin breakout finally took place, and boy oh boy, have we predicted this one perfectly, because all the Bitcoin bears are exactly squeezed out like we predicted. We're seeing Bitcoin push up right now to levels we have never seen before. And yes, of course, on today's update video, I am going to be discussing my trade that is currently in a $1.3 million profit. But also, I want to be discussing the risks of this push towards the upside, because Bitcoin is running in a big level of resistance. But just like I predicted on all my videos ago here, I am going to be going over my final target for Bitcoin on this rally higher. Because yes, I've already predicted this move towards the upside was inevitably going to be coming. And of course, now I'm going to be exactly talk about my exact targets from this exact breakout for Bitcoin. Of course, I will not only talk about Bitcoin, because I will give also a major update on my Ethereum trade, because my take profit target is almost hit here. And then I will be closing my multi-million dollar trade on Ethereum, not because I think Ethereum is going to be crashing, but just to de-risk in this market. So a lot to discuss on today's update video, because we have seen the largest daily inflow ever on the spot Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF here. So guys, there's a lot to discuss on today's update video. So don't forget to once again slap up that like button. Of course, back above 1,000 likes will be highly appreciated. And let me jump straight away in towards today's update video. Ever since yesterday evening, we started to see the big breakout continue for Bitcoin. Of course, yesterday we already set a new all-time high. We already broke above the big range of resistance. And of course, like we exactly forecasted, whenever we're going to be breaking above this level, the big continuation is likely going to get started. And of course, I hear you guys already talking in the background. Where is it going to be stopping, right? Where is the next big resistance for Bitcoin? And I mean, if we're going to be looking at most of the price targets from the bull flag pattern, from potentially, of course, this breakout right here, or potentially from, of course, the head and shoulders pattern, basically 90% of all the price targets from $130,000 all the way up towards about $140,000. And of course, we have right now seen that most of the liquidity is right now grabbed here, and basically that all the Bitcoin bears have been screwed here, all the Bitcoin bears have been squeezed out here. Yesterday, we saw a major inflow on the spot Bitcoin ETF here, the second largest ever recorded on the spot Bitcoin ETF, which was 1.2 billion US dollars worth of inflows on just one single day here. But I want you to understand here, historically speaking, whenever we see record flows on the spot Bitcoin ETF, it tends to be marking at least a short-term top here. So I do want to be saying that. I don't want to be spoiling bad things here. I mean, we are in a very strong leg towards the upside. But this is something that historically always has happened. So let's see how that is going to be playing out this time around here. But of course, we have been talking about this major breakout on Bitcoin that was inevitably going to take place here. And of course, it took place here. And yes, we have seen right now the breakout. And I've been calling for the final leg towards the upside for Bitcoin. And what I mean with that here is that I believe Bitcoin is going to be topping out between $130,000 towards about $140,000. This is exactly what I predicted on the bear market low here. In this low right here, in the bear market, I've always stated $140,000 towards about $130,000 is going to be the Bitcoin bull market top. I believe this bull market is, of course, clearly a little bit different. I don't believe we're going to be going towards this level and crash all the way down to $20,000. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I do think whenever we visit that level, we're probably going to be seeing those highs for a very long extended period of time, not anymore here. So I will be aggressively take some profits whenever we are going to be hitting those levels. Not on my spot positions, but mainly on my leverage trading positions and also on my altcoin positions, because I do want to be exiting those eventually whenever the price is right, of course, right? We're breaking outside of the inverse head and shoulders pattern. And yes, this inverse head and shoulders pattern has got a price target towards the upside, also laying somewhere around $140,000 US dollars, which is of course quite an insane target. But of course, I don't want to be missing out on this major level of resistance for Bitcoin. And I mean, historically, we have got rejected every single time from off this level, right? You can see it happening over here in 2017, back in towards 2021. The bull market got exactly rejected by this oversold resistance line. And now we are retesting this level again here. And we are most likely, once again, going to be expecting a rejection. And of course, if we're not going to be seeing so, it would ultimately be, of course, absolutely amazing. But this is a very critical level of resistance you should not just ignore here. So yeah, Bitcoin is retesting this level. And like you can see, this is truly the moment of truth, because if we break above this, we're sure going to be flipping this trend here, and we potentially could be running even much higher. But this is, of course, a very big level of resistance. And of course, I cannot stress enough about how much I how much I talked about Ethereum, about Bitcoin, and how we were going to be running much, much higher. And yeah, I was reading through the comments. Almost everyone was saying, close your trade. It is stupid to hold it open. But currently, I'm in a $1.3 million profit. And I showed this trade ever since I opened it here. Completely transparent. So yeah, guys, we are doing an absolutely incredible job here. And if you feel like trading yourself, check it out in the link description of today's video. If you're living in Europe, sign up to Bybit Europe. If you're living outside of Europe, check out BTTC or Bybit Global. So yeah, these all have very crazy deposit bonuses, so make sure to check it out in the link description of today's video. But anyways, we are doing an absolutely incredible job with my trade here. And whenever Ethereum is going to be hitting $3,080, I will be taking full profit on my trade here, locking in about $1.4 million in profit. And some will maybe argue right now here, because they are euphoric, why should you close your trade already if you think Bitcoin is going to be running higher? Is because I am already so heavily exposed to Ethereum and also my spot positions that I do want to be deleveraging a little bit here and take some profits off the table and hold it still in spot here, but at least don't have the risk of the leverage position anymore. And of course, like you can see, the funding rates are also increasing, so it is going to become more and more expensive for me to hold this trade open. So yeah, whenever we are hitting $3,000 and $3,080, I'm going to be fully close out my leverage trade here, and then I will be locking in at about $1.5 to $1.6 million in profit, which for me is also enough for this trade here. So that is my exact trading strategy. I just want to be deleveraging ever so slightly. Then yesterday we saw the largest daily inflow ever on BlackRock Ethereum buys here, which is quite insane here. The second largest Ethereum buy in general. So yeah, we're seeing very heavy inflows also on the Ethereum ETF, which is of course very, very great to see here. And like you can see here, they bought $300 million, which is their biggest buy ever on Ethereum. And of course, the Ethereum compared to Bitcoin chart, guys, I do really think Ethereum is going to be running much, much higher. We're breaking above critical resistance right now. And of course, I've talked about my target of $4,000 for a very long time here. And that is, of course, also my take profit target for my small position. But of course, look at all the patterns I've called whenever I drawed before. Guys, it is exactly playing out like we predicted. Also, this one, fake out on the top side, fake out on the lower side. This is, of course, where we entered. And then, of course, the breakout of the range. It is just perfectly playing out here. Perfectly. Just go back to any of my videos. It's all on YouTube. It's all transparent. Just look back on all the things I've stated about Ethereum, about the Bitcoin. It was so freaking obvious. And right now, it exactly played out here. Ethereum is coiling up towards the upside. And of course, the total tree, so the total cryptocurrency market cap, excluding Bitcoin and ETH, is also starting to break out here. So altcoins are starting to coil up right now at this moment of time as well here. But truly, the ultimate target for Ether is going to be $4,000. And if we can confirm the 3-day candle close, which is about to be happening later today, above this level, which is a major level of resistance, like you can see over here, a big continuation is actually going to be likely all the way up to about 4,000 US dollars. So yeah, it's very interesting to see where we're currently heading towards, but a big continuation higher is going to be likely for Ether, in my opinion. So the Bitcoin dominance is also starting to be breaking down here. And of course, the ETH compared to Bitcoin valuation is looking very, very strong here. And of course, as long as Bitcoin is going to be continuing its trend towards the upside, Ethereum is for sure going to be following. And yeah, that is of course why I'm super excited about this trade here. But yeah, do be alert. I don't know how you guys are in your trade. Of course, you have to do it yourself. I'm not a financial advisor, but just what I am currently doing here is that at a certain point, you also have to take some profit here, because if you don't take any profit at whatsoever, what is even the point of your trade, right? So for me, if I'm in a $1.5 or $1.6 million profit, for me it's enough, so I will be taking it all off the table and just hold it in spot. Not necessarily to sell my positions, but hold it in spot here, because my ultimate target, which I discussed on the exact bottom here, on the $1,500, $1,600, just go back to my videos, has always been $4,000, the top side of the range right here. So yeah, of course, that is just my strategy, but make sure to have your own strategy as well here. But anyways, guys, this is it for me in today's update video. Don't forget to check out Bybit or any other exchange in the link description of today's video to get started with trading. But anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.